Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. My name's Mike, and today I got the dozer out here, and we got some trails and stuff up here in the woods that we got to work on. They've been getting washed out, so let me show you what we got going on here. All right, I'm gonna be fixing some roads here today. You see, we got a little bit of washout going on. Go up here and see a little bit more about what we got going on. You see, you got pretty good ruts going on here. I think we're gonna move the road. I'm gonna probably steal a little bit of dirt over here and just kind of fill this back in a little bit right here. And over here a few years ago I done this. I used to go straight up through here and it was washed out real bad, and so kind of moved the road over a little bit and come in here, but got a spot here where the water's converging and washing it out. So we'll probably clean this up a little bit. I think what we're going to do, the road goes up through this corner of the woods here, come down and turn and go out on the other side of this shooting house, and then come down. That way water won't be wanting to wash this out so bad. And we might try to divert the water a little bit and kind of shoot it over into this ditch instead of allowing it to go down there. We'll have to see what we can do. Of course, everything around here is pretty much solid rock, so. And we got some more up top of the hill up in the woods we're going to work on. We'll get to that in a little bit. Somewhere here I'm going to try to make a road down through here. I'm just kind of driving out with the dozer, kind of see get a feel for it, where I want to put the road at. All right, well, I like where it's at, so that's where I'm going to put it. If I came back up, I think it'd be too steep. The water's just going to wash. Where this way here, the water will go down through the middle, and the road will go around the outside of it. So I think where I drove down through there and scraped it, I think that's where we're going to put it. Get her done. Well, it'll work out for me pretty good. The road looks pretty decent. I think we'll get too carried away with it. We're side by side ATVs anyway. Alright, let's move on to the next one. Alright, so the next thing on the agenda is over here where dozer's parked. We got a little bit of a flat area there. And he's gonna put a deer blind here, so we're gonna push a little bit off of there, level that up a little bit better, and bring it out here to the road. We'll use some of that dirt to kind of help build this road up a little bit here, and fill these ruts in, which this here that really wasn't that bad. I just kind of lightly scraped it as I came up, and it filled in for the most part, but we'll make it a little bit better. And I'll probably go over here somewhere and knock a little hole there for the water to escape, and then we'll start working our way on up the hill to the next spot. Got another little bit of incline in there, but it isn't a whole lot. It's probably been about 3 years or so since I cut this road in here, and he uses it pretty regular, side by side and stuff. And we've had a lot of rain, so I'm kind of surprised it held up as well as it did. Hawk up there hollering at me. Anyway, that's the next little thing on the agenda. Alright, I think we got that close enough for what he wanted. Got a nice little flat spot here where he can set his deer blind up at. And got the road all slicked up. I got this where the water should drain off of it, and can't tell, I got a little bit of a dip right here, so whatever water comes up here can shoot off right here before it gets to this tree, before it starts over the hill, and then that's all slope going away, so it should let that water slide off of that. So now I just need to scrape that down a little bit and start working our way up to the next level. Alright, let's knock the trees down. Bodock trees, man, these things are hard to get out of the ground. See what happens. Old Massey Ferguson said, move, get out the way. She gone. All right, we're gonna go back down the hill here and want to knock the trees out, so we're gonna go down there and knock the trees out for us. And yeah, let's roll on off the hill. All right, let's see what happens. Well, that ain't good. Well, I got a paper gasket on there. I think I'm gonna try scrape it off of there. See if maybe I can't get that tightened down further and crush that O-ring a little better maybe. I think that might be the problem. It might not be the O-ring, it might be the paper gasket now. Only thing to do is try it and find out, I reckon. Yeah, that's what it is. It's gonna blow through that paper gasket right there. Well, I guess that paper gasket must have been holding them. This paper gasket's actually a roofing paper. That's what I had. Been working all this time. I don't think I got any more of it. I don't know. I do got some. Now, do I want to use it or not? I don't know. What y'all think? Is it gonna work? Well, I guess we're gonna find out, huh? Well, let's try again. Let's see. I'll stick it on. The bolts hold it in place. That way I get it lined up good. Well, of course, it don't help that I don't got the proper tools to get it tight as I'd like it. That donkey's a honking. Honky donkeys. No, that's not my donkeys. These are a little ways from the house. So if I could hear them, they'd be the honking. All right, let's see if that'll hold it. All right, y'all cross your fingers now. Well, I see it just weeping a little bit. Leaking just a tiny little bit right there. That's all it's gonna leak. I don't think I'm gonna worry too much about it. I'm gonna try to tighten it down just a little bit more. Good enough. All right, let's knock some trees down. Well, it's pretty rough ground out here. And old bodocks, or Osage orange trees, them roots, man, they ain't nothing to mess with. Them things wrap around every rock in the county. But they were smaller trees, you know, 5 to 8 inch, a couple 10 inch, maybe 12. Anyway, we got them pushed out. I said I wasn't really expecting to be doing a bunch of clearing, but you know, we got here and he wanted them knocked down, and we're here with the dozer, so he's got a tractor. He'll come back and clean up the rest of it. So I just needed to get the trees down, was all he needed. So maybe I'll walk around. I guess still got plenty of rocks to gotta get picked up. Little stobs and stuff. The brush hog will take care of that once he gets it cleaned off. And you know, this was all through here, and I don't know if you can see back here in the background where we got a whole nother section over here that cleared out. Back up there, back up to that brush pile, and all down through there. I think we knocked a pretty good hole in it for him. That'll give him something to keep him busy for a while, cleaning my mess up. It's got to be a lot easier than what it would have been for him to come through back here by hand, clearing this out. So we'll probably come back another time or something. This whole hillside here is a bunch of cedar trees. He's probably gonna log them. You know, the guy's got a sawmill or whatever, so they'll probably take most of those cedars out of there, and then whatever they don't get or can't get, he'll probably have me back over here. A bunch of rocks and stuff out through there. Like I said, he'll probably eventually want that cleaned up, but I don't think we was expecting to get this much done. Went a little better than I thought it was going to. Usually it's so rocky up here that you can't get no traction with the dozer to try to push anything, and didn't really know what was in here too much. So he surely got enough to burn him a fire for a little while. You'll see that fire up there at the space station. Alright, well, I appreciate y'all watching. And if you don't mind, hit that like button, subscribe so you don't miss the next one. And we'll see y'all later.